Welcome back, y'all. Joining us now in studio is Matthew Cohen with the Texas Wounded Warrior Foundation. They're being recognized this month by the Sloan law firm for their outstanding contributions. Matthew, thank you so much for joining us here today on this Thursday morning.
Thank you, Cynthia. It's great to be here.
Yeah, so tell us more about the Texas Wounded Warrior Foundation, how you guys got going.
Yeah, well, the mission of the foundation really is to honor and empower, and really just support our wounded military veterans and active duty service members that are returning from deployments and combat operations. And so the foundation began back in 2007. Our chairman of the board, Mr. Dick Getz, who was a senior PGA Tour golfer and is a PGA member, went to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina and identified a serious need at that point. There were a lot of veterans returning from Iraq and Afghanistan that had, some major emotional and physical scars and really needed support. So it began with just a simple golf tournament here in Tyler back in 2007. And since that time, the foundation has grown and has raised over $7 million and helped 700 plus wounded warriors and their families in terms of direct aid and support.
That's awesome, really. Then you guys you were talking in the break about how it's kind of just been a grassroots effort. No physical office, but that doesn't mean y'all aren't making a really big impact. Anybody from a veteran's family kind of knows that the wounds aren't always visible. Do you guys provide resources to any other wounded warriors that might not, be physically wounded, maybe PTSD, other stuff that they carry with them the rest of their lives?
Absolutely. In fact, more of what we see now, Cynthia, unfortunately, combat operations are less active overseas right now. So we're not seeing as many, returning active duty and veteran service members that have the physical scars quite as much, and that's wonderful. But the long-lasting emotional impact is significant. And so we really do try and provide, again, like you said, not only financial resources, but emotional support, psychological care and medical care where it's needed, vocational training and support to try and help warriors assimilate back into the community and be successful and productive. And so there's so many different ways that our outreach really extends, and we do everything we can to, again, support the warriors and their families emotionally, financially, spiritually, and just really in any way we can to help bridge the gap. The Veterans Administration does a great job, but we find that there are gaps, again, financially and sometimes in the physical and emotional care of these heroes, and we want to bridge that gap and really take care of them.
For sure. Some of those photos we were looking at looked like some were pre-pandemic. We had a couple with masks that obviously were sized down a bit. How is fundraising working during the pandemic? How can people at home help your foundation?
Well, thanks for asking. And yeah, that was one of the amazing stories of 2020 for us as a foundation, is that our donation base really, it didn't drop. And in fact, I believe we had more donations that came in 2020 than did in 2019. So that's just a testament to the incredible people in East Texas and all around Texas and even surrounding states and all around the country that have learned a little bit more about our organization. But yeah, we do fundraising through golf tournaments. We have 4 active Pro-Am golf tournaments that we host annually now. The one in Tyler in October, one in Amarillo in July, one in the Austin Horseshoe Bay area in November, and we've added a new one this year in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and expect to add one in Houston next year. So those are great fundraising bases, but so much of it is passive and just comes to us through website donations. Our website is txwoundedwarrior.com, and there's a donate now button that makes it real easy to do it there, or through just mail-in donations or donations through various other channels. But it's an amazing story, and people here are so incredibly generous, and we just can't thank the East Texas and Tyler communities enough.
Speaking of which, part of the reason we have you here is y'all are being recognized by Sloan Law Firm. Let's bring up, it seems like y'all got a check presentation, I hear. Kind of how does that impact you guys?
Yeah, well, again, I mean, so much of what we're trying to do, Cynthia, is just to raise awareness and education and, you know, and just make sure that people understand who we are and what we're doing in the community. And as we talked about during the break, one of the things we're most proud of is that about 90 to 91 cents of every dollar that's donated to the foundation goes directly back to the warriors and their families in the form of, again, financial aid, helping to pay some bills, possibly help bridge a gap between employment. We've provided wheelchair lifts for warriors for their vehicles, you know, all sorts of different outreach. So, you know, any donations that come into us really do get used directly to support these warriors and their families. And again, it means the world to us that we've received the support that we have from all around Texas.
Matthew, thank you so much for joining us, and a big congratulations to you guys and the Texas Wounded Warrior Foundation. Coming up next.